Screen Time Allowance. This is our show where we talk about our movies and games and TV shows we're watching and playing. I'm Jonathan, and this is a creeper. Oh, that was a creeper at first. Whew, that's a good thing. So, Zach, what are we going to talk about today? What movie we're talking about? You remember?
You know your house? Well, we're going to be talking about House.
House.
Ding dong, you're dead.
House from 1985. Okay, so House, 1985. This was a favorite movie of mine. I loved this as a kid.
Especially the sword pitch.
It came out when I was...
Spoilers. Lots of spoilers
for a film in 1985 if you haven't seen it. I was 9 when this came out. I probably didn't see it till I was 10. So you're a little ahead of the game. You're almost 8. So that you're a couple years ahead. So, first, did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, huh? So, we'll go through it a little bit. So, it's about a house that this author, his name's Roger Cobb, his aunt lives there. He grew up there. She kills herself, right? She hangs herself, yeah? Mm-hmm. So,
the grocery boy comes.
The grocery boy finds her hanging. So, he gets...
And then he's like... Okay. Is anybody there?
Oh, we're not going to reenact the whole thing. So Roger gets the house, and Roger is played by William Catt, who is the greatest American hero. He was in that show. Does really good. He does really good in this movie. I like him a lot in this movie. So he comes and gets the house, and at first he's going to sell it, but then he's like, you know what? I'm going to hang out. Why? Do you remember why he wants to stay and not sell the house?
Because he wants to make someone buy it so he can get money.
No, there's someone that was in the house that was missing. Do you remember? His name's Jimmy. Who's Jimmy?
Oh yeah, his son.
His son.
And if you didn't know this, Jimmy was his son, and he fell in the pool, and then he
disappeared.
Yeah.
So it was a missing persons case for a long time, right? So the disappearance of his son caused him and his wife, Sandy, to divorce, I guess, or separate. Whatever. She's an actress and lives in a different place. So he sticks around, and he says, I'm going to figure this out, right? So okay. Soon after, we start discovering that there is something going on with the house. His aunt says, the house tricked me, and then it'll trick you too. And she tells him to what? You remember what she says?
Leave.
Yeah, leave while you can.
The house knows everything about you.
Right. You remember that. You remember that line exactly. Okay, so what are some of the first things that happen that turns out that this place is haunted?
Oh, no.
It's very subtle for like...
His ex-wife.
Right, well, it's very subtle at first. And then once the house turns on, it's like... full blast until the end of the show, huh? Until the end of the movie.
It's like full blast. Especially at the end of the show. I'm going to tell you that.
Well, hold on. The first thing that happens outside of like, what's this sound, what's this thing, is the swordfish, right? So there's a big swordfish mounted on the wall. What does it do? It comes to life and flops around on the wall. So he goes and gets... it all just kind of falls apart. He has a neighbor who's kind of nosy. It's George Wendt from Cheers. He played Norm. He's kind of nosy, but he means well. Also
gardening tools.
Right. So he goes and gets the shotgun and the shells from the shed, and then all the tools come to life, like the gardening tools, right? The shovel and the axe and all that.
Yeah, and especially the axe went like
right.
And then it messed him just a little bit.
So in the middle of all this craziness, the neighbor shows up, the lady neighbor shows up with her kid and says, hey, you said you were ready to play. So here's my boy Robert. I'm going out, bye. And just leaves Robert with Roger, right? That didn't work out well. Oh, wait. That was after, we think...
Ex-wife.
Yeah, ex-wife.
Ex-wife is actually a big old fat troll.
You're right. That chases him around. And then, so how does he beat the monster troll, ex-wife troll?
With?
It turns out it's not really his ex-wife. It's just the house playing games with him.
It's the gardening tool.
You gotta speak up, man.
Gardening tools.
Right, so they're trapped in a room, and he's running away and fighting this thing. He opens the door, and the gardening tools fly out and kill her. What?
Before all of that, remember the shotgun up to his head?
Oh, right, it was empty, huh?
It's empty.
And then that's when he opens the door, and the gardening tools.
He did an Oompa.
Right. So one of my favorite parts. This whole movie's so good. It's not very long. It's from 1985. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really good. It holds up very well. There's some definitely serious 80s design choices with some clothes and stuff, but for the most part, it's good. I like the monster in the closet part. You remember that? He goes in there. He has this feeling like something's in this closet. Opens it, nothing's there. Right?
And then
he shuts it. The midnight chime goes off on the grandfather clock, and he's like, wait a minute. Goes back, and this crazy monster's like, rah, and scratches him, right?
Yeah, it's like half Jason zombie or something.
And so I guess we also have to say...
With like Lego arms or something.
I guess we also have to say that Roger's a Vietnam veteran, which shows you how old this movie is he's a young-looking guy. He's 35. He's a Vietnam veteran in this movie, and in the time adds up. So that's how old this movie is. But because of that, his neighbor thinks, man, I think something might be wrong with Roger Cobb, right? And that's when he calls the ex-wife, and she comes. We think she comes out, turns into the troll, and all that. But he finally says,
she was like, let me pick up.
Yeah. Remember, so he goes and gets his neighbor. He invites his neighbor over, and he says, hey, it wasn't a monster in the closet. It was a raccoon, remember? And he sets them all up. He puts goggles on them, and he gives them a spear gun. And he's like, I want to open this up, but we're going to do it right at midnight so we time it right. And so he opens the door. There's the monster. And the neighbor's like, oh! He doesn't expect that. He does shoot him with the thing, but then the thing wraps around his foot and drags Roger into the closet.
And then guess what?
Where does he go? Do you remember?
Into the army.
He goes into his past, pretty much his memories, where he sees his buddy Ben, who is his war buddy, who he gets killed, right? And so Ben tells him, please just kill me. He's shot. He's dying. He's like, kill me. Don't let him capture me. But he can't because it's his buddy. He can't just stab him in the neck. So he has to run off, and then the Viet Cong come and grab Ben and take him off. And what does he say as they drag him away?
I'll get you for this.
Right, I'll get you for this. And then it turns out, he finds out. How does he figure out where his son is? Do you remember?
The painting.
There's this old painting that his aunt was working on, and then he moves the cloth, and there's a picture of his son in the mirror.
Going like this.
There's some really cool stuff in there. There's one part, he goes up there, he opens the mirror, it's just the this medicine cabinet, right?
Hey.
Closes the mirror.
Hey, Dad.
What?
I noticed a little clue.
What?
I saw a little tan.
A little tan? What does that mean?
Like a little tan finger. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You can't just make stuff up. You weirdo. All right, so that's pretty cool. He opens the medicine cabinet. It's just a medicine cabinet. He closes it, and then all in one shot, grabs a stool and throws it through the mirror, and then it's just a black hole, huh? There's no bottom to it. He can't see anything, but he knows his son is in there.
And then the tail comes up, like the alien tail goes like...
Yeah, it's wrapping him up. He has to grab a razor and slice it, but then he throws his rope in there, and down he goes. What does he see when he goes down there?
A skull, winged, alien, monster.
Yeah, steals his gun, huh?
Yeah.
And he does like a spin. He shoots the rope, and down he falls into the water. So, do you remember where he fell? What he falls back into?
The tree.
Yeah, back to basically Vietnam. He finds his son, right? Finds Jimmy in the cage. Grabs his son, jumps in the water. They go underwater. They come up. Where are they at?
It's at the pool.
They're in the pool again, back at the house.
And
then it's a happy ending. They swim out, and he's smiling. He's carrying his son. He opens the front door, and who's there? Zombie Ben, right? One of the coolest zombie makeups ever.
Okay,
I love it so
I'm gonna
much.
explain it. Okay, so you know skeletons. Well, it's like all the insides are still in. His rib cage is still there.
Yeah.
And then half of his face is gone.
Right. He's got one white eye, and you can see his ribs, and he's got skeleton fingers. Really, really cool zombie makeup.
Still has his guns and stuff.
Chases him around the house. William Cat does a really good stair fall, like falls down the stairs, and they show him, and it's really William Cat doing it. I'm like, all right, right on, William Cat. So at the end of the day, he's really scared. He's running around. Ben catches up with his son, catches him, picks him up, has a knife to his neck, and then Roger Cobb decides, you know what, Ben? The whole movie is about him trying to get over. He's writing a new book. He's a horror author, but he's writing a new book about his experiences in Vietnam, which nobody seems to be receptive of. But he has to do it to kind of work through these memories of his guilt of leaving Ben behind. So he decides in his head, he's like, guess what, Ben? I'm not afraid of you anymore, right?
And then he grabs his knife.
Yeah. So Roger reaches out, and Ben does what? With his knife. Chop! And then his hand falls off, and then he looks down, and he still has his hand. He's beating him. I'm not afraid of you, Ben.
And then he grabs his grenade, stuffs it up, and then
where does he stuff it? Because that's pretty cool.
Because he
stuffs it up in his rib cage, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then at the end he says, "I'll get you for this."
No, well, I don't think he's coming back because the house ends up burning down, right? And then who shows up at the end? Who we thought was dead, who was the troll, but it's his estranged wife shows up. Ta-da!
Wait.
Jimmy's back. Roger found him. The wife is there. It's a happy ending, right?
Yeah, and the troll comes back after the tweezers gets.
Right. Okay. So to jump back at that real quick, because it is a cool part. The troll is chasing him around. The floating garden shears chop off the troll's head, right? But it keeps moving, right? He goes out to bury this thing in the backyard, and the neighbor over there is swimming in the pool, who later brings her son over, which is a whole bunch of other problems. But the body's still moving around. So she walks off,
Especially
and he hits it with the shovel, right? And then he hears clink, and then he grabs an axe. He grabs it. It was one of my favorite reactions ever. It's funny to describe it, but it's definitely worth seeing. He grabs that axe and he just gets this look of like I have this great idea. Cut. There's mounds all over the yard because he chopped up the troll body, right?
Yeah, and then the hand is on the guy.
When the neighbor brings her son over, the dog digs up one of the hands and it turns up on the kid's back later, right? No one's going to understand any of this. We're going so out of order. What was your favorite part of the movie?
Okay. I liked when the son got captured by those troll things.
It wasn't the son. It was the neighbor's kid, right? Robert. You like that part? Where they're running through the house and trying to take him up the chimney?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And there's one more part that I like.
What?
That the alien tail went like this around his neck.
Oh, when the alien tails came up out of the mirror, the broken mirror?
It's like half alien, half skull monster, half Ben zombie.
Right. Yeah. It was a lot. It was really good. It was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Half-winged zombie monster.
Right. It was one of my favorites as a kid, and there's nothing really objectable in it.
Half bat.
Just a little violence and some scary imagery and stuff. You were fine with it.
Scary.
Would you recommend this for people to watch?
Yes.
Okay. What voice is that? That's the troll lady, huh? All right. Cool. So highly recommended House from 1985 starring William Cat. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Now, let's talk about what we're playing. Okay, so something new popped up. What are we playing? It's the new
Plants vs. Zombies.
Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. So we're real big fans of previous Garden Warfare games.
Yeah? and Dad is going for a town hall. He just defeated the boss, and I'm working on the zombie.
You're on the zombie side, working on the plant boss, huh? Dreadwood. Good.
And
so what do you think so far?
I have to get the stickers, but they're so hard.
So what do you think of it so far? Is it pretty good? Who's your new favorite plant?
Favorite plant? Ninja
Nightcap.
Ninja Nightcap.
He's a little mushroom, but he's a ninja. He has some cool overpowered moves.
And I also like Snapdragon.
Snapdragon's cool. I like the acorn. You like the acorn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about new zombies? Who do you like from the new zombies?
Just smaller.
Yeah. What about the new zombies? Do you like any of the new zombies?
I
don't think I've played with the zombies as much as I played with the plants this time yet. The disco person's pretty cool. Roller disco zombie, which is funny.
You mean
I can't remember their name.
It's a lightning guy.
Yeah, I can't remember though. One cool thing about this.
Shazam or something?
One cool thing about this that's an improvement over the Garden Warfares is now you can actually sprint, which is nice because sometimes you got to get to where you want to go, and their one speed it got old pretty. But now everybody has a really cool sprint animation. I do like Super Brain's sprint animation. Super Brains is like a zombie superhero. He looks like Superman.
Can I do it real quick?
Yeah. So you think.
Hold on.
Yeah, you think he's gonna fly when I push sprint because there's other characters that'll float when they sprint. But what does he do? You think he zooms up like he's gonna fly, and then he does what? He just runs with his fist out in front of him. It's really cool. It's funny. It made me laugh the first time I saw it. It was good. So are you liking Plants vs. Zombie Battle for Neighborville? Well, right now, it's $10 cheaper than it will be when it comes out October 8th or 18th or something. And then they're giving you free cool costumes and stuff on the way. So, all right. So that wraps up this episode. We talked about House from 1985. We talked about Plants vs. Zombies. Next time, well, we're not going to say what we talk about next time because it might change between then and there. But it won't because we'll be wearing the same clothes in the next episode.
Okay.
Until then,
Minecraft forever.
We'll see you next time on Screen Time Allowance. But say bye. Bye.